So if you're watching this and you're somebody who has lost weight in the past but cannot seem to lose it now, I can tell you that the number one reason that this isn't happening for you is you have not connected to that vision of the version of you that you want to become. Meg, you're on. Hi. I am really excited to connect with you. Congrats on your book. Vision, this concept, and it's elusive, right? Like what we do instead is we do tactics. Every diet out there is a tactic for weight loss. All right. So whether you're going to go keto or paleo or do IMF or whatever, cut out things, rely on shakes, those are tactics, they're strategies. What you ultimately need is commitment. And how do you commit to something if you don't feel, connected to the version of you that you're going to become? And here's what I know. I've had a chance to share my story a lot over the few days in terms of like what it was like to live overweight, to be drinking wine every night, to be eating chocolate, and to just be feeling so disconnected from myself, right? To be disconnected from myself, my life, my goals, to be living in a body where it didn't feel like me. I'd look in the mirror, I didn't see me. It felt horrible. And my guess is some of you can relate, right? When you go through life not experiencing the joy and the comfort and the fun, and if you are letting weight hold you back from any aspect of your life, and trust me, it does hold you back. I mean, I speak to women every single day. Probably this last 3 days, I've spoken to over 25 women who have just come up to me. They know me, and they share how they're feeling. Not feeling good. They're letting me know things like they haven't had sex in 8 months. They feel gross. They feel worthless. They feel like, there's these things that they want to do, but who are they to go do them, right? Like there's all of these things that are happening, and at the end of the day, you feel stalled out. And so what do? You do a diet. And so that thinking that this diet, this like quick fix tactic strategy is going to get you to where you want to go, but it doesn't, because along the way you hit curveballs in life. It's put you into these like hard, rigid rules of should do this and shouldn't do that, and do this, don't do that. And I can tell you, for women, life can be hard enough sometimes. You do not need to add more rigid rules in. What you do need is to start to cultivate that belief and faith that what you want is possible and available to you. But it requires commitment to you. And so many times we'll be committed to other people, other things, our kids, our partners, our jobs, and we lose commitment to ourselves. Because at the deepest level, we actually don't think we're worth it, or we don't think we're going to get what we want. Hannah, yay, nice to see you. I so wish that you had been in Phoenix. I'm still here. And so, yeah, we don't get the things that we want because really, we don't have weight problems. If you have a pen and paper out, write this down. Write down, I don't have a weight problem. I have a self-worth problem. I have a trust problem. I have a commitment problem. I have a lack of faith that I can get to where I want to go. And so this is why diets will fail you time after time after time, is because every time you do something, you do a tactic or a strategy and it fails you, or you fail you think that you're wrong. You think that it's not going to be possible. And the truth is, of course it is. Of course it is. And I don't care. I mean, whatever your goal is in life, whether it's to be a great mom, or whether it's to have a great marriage, or whether it's to advance in your career and be at the top in whatever industry you're in, or it's to make a lot of money. I mean, none of those things benefit from short-term tactics. They don't. You have to cultivate the vision. And so if you haven't had the ability to just sit down and be with yourself because you're so overcommitted, busy, overwhelmed, overstressed, running on empty, what you're doing is you're creating a state of being that gives you justifiable reasons for not tackling the thing that's most important for you. And I live that, I know it because I lived life that way for quite some time. I experienced it. It was when I got so sick of living like that, of feeling like that, of not having energy with my kids, of not being able to go do the things I want to do, of literally sitting on the floor of the bedroom with a pile of clothes on the bed, none of which fit me, by the way. And I chose to not go out that night with my girlfriends because I felt like shit. And I cried. I don't want to live like that. My guess is you don't either. And so change happens. How do you do it? I get asked this all the time, Jen, what do you think it's really going to take for me to lose weight? And what it's going to really take for you is for you to start to love yourself enough to believe that you're worth taking care of and stop breaking trust with yourself. I have a podcast called Weight Loss is Like Death by 1,000 Cuts. And the reason being is that we lie to ourselves so many times in a day. And if you lie to yourself, what do you mean? What do I mean by lie? I mean, you say you're going to get up at 6:30 and you hit snooze. You say you're going to go to the gym and you don't. You say you're going to go for a run and you don't. You say that you're not going to drink at night and you drink the bottle of wine. You say that you're going to not eat the chips. You eat the chips. You're in your mind, you've got this constant stream of consciousness about what you're telling yourself that you're going to do or don't do, and then you don't do any of it. You don't do any of it. You sleep in, you justify the reason you drink the wine. The wine gives you permission to eat more of the cheese or the chips or the ice cream or whatever else is being served. And you go, I'll start on Monday. I'm going to worry about this next week because I'm a good person. I deserve to feel happy. I deserve to have some, fun in my life. And somehow we've made food and booze fun. And it might sound harsh, but we're not dogs. We do not need to reward ourselves with food. We don't need kibble, right? And what I'm finding over and over again is that women are living so disconnected from what they're feeling, and they don't know how to feel feelings. I have not known how to feel feelings. I've just stuffed them down, and the food and the booze helps with that stuffing because it's a numbing effect. But it numbs the joy and it numbs the pain. So then you're just living this flatline life, which doesn't actually feel that fulfilling. If you're in it, you know it. If you're at the bottom of it, kind of that rock bottom place when you're like, fuck, I don't want to keep feeling like this or living life like this. That is life asking you to wake up. All of these things, physical weight on your body is a symptom of other shit that you haven't had the chance to process or deal with. It just is. And if you're having those thoughts, it's like, I want you to take them as messages. Right? There's messages being sent to you all the time that life is now. Life is happening right now. Take charge of your life right now. Start loving yourself right now enough to take care of yourself. Susanna, hello. And Jug, hi. God, it's been forever. That's what life is asking of you. Life is asking you to step up, not shrink back. What does food and booze do? Food and booze make you feel so bad about yourself that you keep staying in the shadows of your life. You hold back, you hold out, you stay disconnected, you stay in a state of discontent, and you don't live. When you commit to you, when you say screw it to the tactics and strategies, it's like get rich quick schemes, right? There is no such thing as an overnight success. Right? It is usually 10 or 5 years of commitment and consistency that create that overnight success. You don't just lose 30 pounds in 2 months. And yes, I've read all of my YouTube comments, and yes, there are some men who post that they do, and they're starting off at 330 pounds. All right? When you have a large percentage of fat mass on your body, you will lose more. But I'm talking for the average woman out there, people like me, right? You and I. When you've got that 30 or 40, maybe 50 or 60 extra pounds in your body, or maybe for you, it's just 10, the same 10 pounds that you keep bitching and moaning about, making you feel less than, making you feel like you don't look good in your jeans, making sex with the lights on, or even have sex at all because you don't feel good about your body. I mean, do something about it. Don't wait. I'm 43. I have lived, finally, when I was like, I am done feeling this way, that was 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And I haven't regained a pound. And I eat and drink whatever I want. I was out with Christy Miller last night. Christy Miller is another amazing health coach. She has a company called Eat, Train, Win. So the two of us and our husbands went out for dinner. We're in the same location in Phoenix. And both her and I, we ordered off the menu. We weren't weird about it. We both had a drink, right? We enjoyed dessert because we know how to work with our bodies, and we know how to take care of our bodies. But more importantly, we know how to take care of our minds, and we know how to feel our feelings, right? If you're living isolated, if you are living disconnected, if you feel like you are struggling with depression, I can tell you that your weight is not making any of that better. It's making it worse because of how you continue to choose to feel about yourself. And one of the things that I think that we forget is that whatever you have created or whatever you're living in your life right now, it's because you've told you it's okay to create it. And again, this doesn't just go for weight loss, right? This goes for your life. This goes for your marriage. This goes for the relationship you have with your kids. This goes for the relationship you have with your body. So if you're sitting on the other side of this, 40 pounds overweight, and you're thinking, well, no, I didn't want this. Well, on some level, whether it's subconscious or not, you did, because you took the action steps to get there. And so if you took those action steps to create this body, well, then you can take different action steps to create something else. But let's find the vision for you. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? That's one of the number one questions I ask my clients. And guess what the answer I hear is? The number one answer, I don't know. Okay, well, what do you think you want? I don't know. Women, I am ready for us to find our voices and take a stand and know what we want and need and know how to articulate it and know how to put ourselves out there and ask for it and to believe we're worthy of receiving it. When you stay stuck with excess physical weight, there will be excess other emotional stuff going on in your life, and it won't feel good. That is what the discontent is about. That is what the sort of the feeling of blah. I mean, that's what I hear. I just feel so blah. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I have it all, and I should enjoy my life. I don't. You know, I, I, I mean, if you're watching me, I'm sure you're not 20. You're probably in your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s. I mean, we do not have an infinite time on this planet. We have one body, one physical body that we get to go through our life with. How are we choosing to experience our life in this body? And why would you not choose to make it the most incredible experience of your life? Why would you not choose to say yes to a physical body that you get to enjoy, to living with emotional freedom, to being able to wake up and feel good about yourself, to feel in integrity with yourself, to know that even though it's hard sometimes, you are keeping your promises to yourself. When if people say, Jen, what's your best secret for weight loss? And I'm like, the best secret for weight loss is start doing what you tell yourself you're going to do. And don't do a diet. You don't need to diet. You just need to start feeling your feelings. You need to start waking up to your life. You need to go after the things that you want now, not when you lose weight. You need to start taking care of you the same way you would take care of a baby. I've got 2 kids. I didn't. Uh-oh, I think we're back. Because I was willing to do whatever it took to care for them. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to care for you? Are you willing to take a stand for yourself and say, you know what? I'm not buying that shit anymore. I'm going to make a commitment to myself that we've got some spotty internet here. Feeling your feelings, learning how to process them, being in a good relationship with yourself. I mean, ask yourself, if you were your own boyfriend or husband, would you like you? Would you be like, oh, I'm so sweet to myself. I'm so good. I'm so glad. I'm so in love with myself. No, you'd be like, fuck, you're an asshole. You say horrible things to me. You break promises all the time. You don't show up for me in a way that actually allows me to live and feel, like I'm living a great life. You wouldn't. Because if you did do that, you wouldn't be carrying the extra weight. So the thing that I'll be driving home between this October, November, December, when it's going to get busy, right? We've got Thanksgiving, we've got Canadian Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving, and then, oh God, we've got the holidays. And this is a time where we go crazy with food and booze. And what I'm going to be asking you all to do is take a stand for yourself now. Do not wait until January 1. Do not wait. The time is now, because our time is running out, right? I've got clients in their 60s and 70s who are now just at a place where they're dealing with their weight and the emotional stuff that they need to unpack from their life. That is, they wish that they had done that decades ago. If this is you and you are watching this, your time is now. You would not be in my community if it wasn't your time. Your time is now. And so I'll be back again next Monday to push these lessons forward. You will never hear me preach one diet dogma, ever. What I will say is it's time to start, or it's time to re-fall in love with you. The kind of way you loved yourself when you were like 2 or 3 and thought you were like amazing. Because every child feels that way. You can see the light shine out of their eyes. They don't hold back. They feel their feelings, they process them, they have their temper tantrums, and they move on. They eat when they're hungry, they push it away when they're full. The regulating system is intact when we're little. It's our life experiences and the people around us that starts to disrupt that system. So thank you for being on with me today. If you know that there's somebody in your life that needs to hear this message, please share the Facebook Live. If you have questions, if this resonates for you, please let me know. Meg, you just said truth. Like, thank you. It just showed up here. I think I've got some slow internet. But here's the deal. It's time for us to get healthier.